All right.
The sound is on.
Sound is on.
And we are using...
Welcome. So,
the shot cam.
we're not quite sure if we're having technical difficulties, but if you're on YouTube and for some reason you have a problem, let us know and we will real-time fix it.
They can't handle this level of streaming.
I like the fact that his hat still has a tag on it, which means it could be your hat pretty soon.
I know, I'm actually using a little bit of a hat there.
All right, so guys, first of all, thank you for joining us. Special today is that, first just logistics. You'll see the Gleam link below. There are 2 links because we're gonna be doing a drawing this at the end of the show like we usually do, but the drawing for this week is gonna be drawn next week's show. It's very confusing, I don't know if I like this.
We're gonna see how this works, guys.
Yeah, but I didn't want to give you, we're gonna do a drawing.
We wanted to try something special here. So for those of you guys who watched last week, we did a giveaway around Tabio socks, and we are gonna be doing the drawing at the end of the show. And we want to do that to give those of you guys watching last week and watching the recording version of this the opportunity to enter the giveaway. We are then gonna be launching a new giveaway this week that is not gonna be done at the end of this hour, but it's gonna be done next week.
So every week there'll be a giveaway as per usual, but now all the people who watch the live show, not live, can enter.
There we go. So we'll try it. If it is confusing and you guys don't like it, let us know.
Yeah, we'll just change it back. But really, I mean, now for getting to watch the live show, you can enter twice. So cool. All right, Edward, hello from Alaska. Hi, Ed.
Yeah, let's check in with our people here.
Runner Geek Girl's back. I love it.
So hey everyone, Heather from Arkansas here. Edward, hello from Alaska.
Tanae,
Liz Day, you didn't go running recently, did you?
Name I started to recognize. Lizzie runs far.
Yep.
Fantastic.
We need tech t-shirts for our races. It is coming today. It is on the list.
Good question. Who is in charge of that? Not I, said the cat.
Not I. I think me and Holly will take care of that for you.
If you guys have places, like, what is the best race t-shirt that you have? Because we're gonna basically get blanks and then put our name on it. So if you have really one,
yeah, if you have any votes on tech tees or cotton tees, any brands, like we are currently looking around right now to do our own t-shirts for this spring. So if you guys have any things that you particularly like, let us know. That's definitely
By the way,
cool.
Lee, who is a stellar member of our team here and who I'm sure you guys have interacted with if you've ever written into our customer support, she has only ever really voiced one very strong opinion that I can recall.
That was no t-shirts. She wanted tank tops. Yeah, tank tops for the ladies. Totally get it.
Which, you know,
hey, she's
just
in Florida.
Based on that, we have to kind of figure out a tank top solution as well. I don't really wear tank tops anymore as much, but I also don't live in Florida, so
yeah.
I
don't live in Florida either.
All right, what is the topic today?
Our topic today is running in and out of injuries, and this is something that I've had to deal with. I know you've had to deal with in the past, currently dealing with. And currently I've had a few athletes that I've had to walk through just locally. And I know it's a subject that is something we all deal with. Yep. So we wanted to kind of talk about different levels of injuries, how important the race is. Yep. Is it worth the risk? Is it not worth the risk? You know, when have you done it and regretted it? And you guys are starting to chime in a few things here. About those things. What did I see? Wee Morgan says, hi from England, running racing with a sore Achilles. That's a great one. Avoiding hills and increasing cadence helps me. Anything else I should be doing? Thanks. Because that's not like an outright injury, but there's like something you're managing. We also got something, let's see here. There was one up here. Yeah, fundinitis, top best healing. And there was another guy in the very beginning, Silent Roar, who actually was throwing in comments. Silent Roar, who was throwing in comments before we actually even started the show. Oh, okay. And he was talking about dealing with something. He's in his final cross-country race of the year. So how does he deal with that?
As always, guys, if you are a Training Club's member and have a question, make sure you just put TC or Training Club in your question, and we will make sure we give you some extra love and attention. As always, we like to support our Training Club members. But let's start at the top, maybe.
Yeah, let's start at the top and go our way down there, and then we will tell you about how you can get these hats. Because you can get hats too.
Oh wait, should we talk about the Gleam thing before we get into questions?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that real quick.
So real quick, there is a link below. Today we're doing the drawing from last week. So it's Tabio socks. You can enter there, and then the drawing for for next week is a TRE hat.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it a TRE hat?
It is TRE hat.
TRE hat plus UCAN Nutrition, who's a partner of ours, who we
a goodie bag of some UCAN Nutrition things, plus whatever little surprises that we can fit in a little packet for you, because yours truly is going to be shipping it out. There'll be 2 winners, so go ahead and enter those links. In fact, you could actually enter in both giveaways. You could enter in the Tabio giveaway that's still open right now if you want to go for the drawing at the end, and you could start to salt the jar, so to speak, for the TRE hat giveaway for next week.
Yeah. If you entered last week, I think then you can't enter twice, but
totally. Yes.
Okay, so that's the giveaway. That's the other stuff. There are a couple other things I wanted to talk about, but
I know.
Let's.
It's been a little busy.
I'm sure I'll interrupt you at some point.
Yeah, I know. How are you feeling?
Good. I'm a little worn down. So we have some travel coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Nate and I. We will be in St. Louis, Missouri. We're leaving on Monday, coming back on Wednesday. Or you're coming back on Wednesday.
I'm coming back Wednesday. You're on like a trip.
Next week's live show will be Nate and either Nate and Holly or
something.
I will not be
Nate
here.
and guest.
Nate and guest. And then I am moving on to, I'll be in Chapel Hill. That's just a family trip. And then I will be in Austin for work, and then in Dallas for a day. Cruising. So I'm hoping to meet with Jess Runs Blessed, one of our athletes in Dallas. So we can have lunch with her. I don't know if we're gonna meet anybody in Austin, but if you guys are in Austin, let me know.
Yeah, go for a run with Craig.
Yeah.
We go back to that barbecue place. That place was good.
That was.
I know. Hopefully Missouri has some good barbecue.
Some fire barbecue. Awesome.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, St. Louis has got different barbecue. That's definitely
different style barbecue.
What's different about St. Louis barbecue?
That is a very good question. If anyone out there is from St. Louis and knows the difference between St. Louis barbecue and Texas, I know like Texas is more beef focused. I feel like North Carolina has like vinegar-based sauces.
Yep.
And they do a lot of pork.
I feel like St. Louis is going to be closer to Texas.
It's got to be.
I don't know. They're bragging about the barbecue.
Well, we're going, and so we will have to find out.
Gooey butter cake. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Anyway, on to questions. You just got me kind of distracted with butter cake, because I was like, what is this delicious thing? And I don't know what it is, but maybe I'll have some. So on to your questions. So the Silent Roar started things off very early on. He said, hey, very coincidental. I'm planning to run a cross-country race this Saturday, but only recovered from my injury a few days ago. It's my final cross-country race for the school, so I am going to do it. If it was just a normal race for my athletics club, I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
So, whenever we're looking with injuries, I always think about it in putting things into the risk and reward categories or columns. How important is this race to me? And anytime I race, even if I'm 100% healthy, I am risking something because I'm beating the snot out of my body for a certain amount of time.
Agreed.
You could fall and twist your ankle. It could be a slip like that, or it could be you've been harboring some overuse injury and you're just trying to get your way through. Final race of the year, you've been training really hard. Maybe you're okay. Let's say it's an Achilles injury. It's like, you know what? It's going to be a little irritated, but I'm over with my season, and then I will deal with it then.
Yep.
There's something to be said about that. There's also something to be said about not doing that, depending on where those races are. Now, right now, it is February. Can you think it's February 1st?
Is it already?
It is.
Okay, we're 1/12 of the year done.
I know, and at least in California, one of the major races is about to happen, which is the Kaiser Permanente Half Marathon race.
Sure.
Now, I kind of love/hate this race because I work with a lot of runners and triathletes who train year-round, and a lot of them race Kaiser, and they love to go into it, but super early. Yep. Like they've raced all the way up through November, and then they're already racing again at the beginning of February.
Yep.
And basically, I don't know if it gives them enough of a break.
Okay.
And then I have athletes who are like, it just kind of messes them up. And I have a few athletes right now who are sort of dealing.
Start in February.
Exactly. It's a super long race season when you deal with February. So I had an athlete this morning who was on the track last night. She's getting ready for the LA Marathon, which is in March.
Yep.
And she felt something pop in her calf. Like a...
Oh,
I don't know what the sound was. Yeah, but she kind of felt/heard something. Yeah. I don't know the.
Is that the sound? Sound of a captain.
It's your cap. Well, my captain on the track. And if it makes that sound, that's probably not good.
Heartless.
I know, it's bad. But anyway, she came into the gym. She hobbled in the gym this morning because she trains with me locally. And we had her doing a little bit of squatting and just moving around the calf. We like used the compression band to wrap her calf and help her out.
Yep.
And she wanted to race Kaiser to get ready for the LA Marathon. Well, that was the original plan pre-pop.
Yep.
So we talked I can't do it laugh at the same time.
Oh God, we're really.
This is bad.
I do feel for her because I've had that.
I know, it's so frustrating, but we were kind of talking about her. It's like, hey, eye on the prize. This might be a good race to sit out on.
Yep.
Really give your body a lot of love the next few days. Or if you're the person who could do this, you could show up at the starting line because you've already paid for this thing and say, I'm going to see how this thing goes. But as soon as my calf doesn't work, I am going to like pull the parachute and sit on the sideline.
Yeah,
but you have to be the right type of athlete to show up on a starting line and then pull out.
And the thing is, are you pulling out after you've done damage, or are you pulling out because you think you're gonna do damage?
Yeah.
Because if let's say you have your A race coming up in March, it's not that much time. You got 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So to recover from a soft tissue injury, try to keep up your training, doable in 4 weeks for sure. But if then you injure it again because you tried the race, you fail at actually completing the race, that is your B race, the half, and then on top of that, you are more injured.
Well, and that's the risk, because then all of a sudden, like, she has this little thing right now, maybe it's going to take her 5 or 6 days, and we could reintroduce running next week, and she could ease back into her marathon training. But if she does this race, maybe it's okay enough she could hobble her way through, but then she does damage that takes 3-4 weeks or longer to get out of it. And then all of a sudden, that affects her LA Marathon. And this particular lady is like, she was 30 seconds away from qualifying for Boston.
Oh!
And actually, this is the thing. She met the qualifying time, and she was 2 minutes under the qualifying time, but there was enough people who were below that like she needed to run 3:35. I think she ran like a 3:33, and what she needs to safely do is run a 3:30 or something like that to go. So anyway, if you're in that boat and it's early, always think of the bigger picture. Super, super important. Silent Roar just chimed in. He says this is not just the last race of the year. It's my final year of school.
Oh, okay.
So this is like senior year, last race. Dude, go big. And like if your knee exploded and you're hobbling, it's probably not going to be good. But the fact that you're just considering this means
we also don't know what the injury is.
We don't.
Silent Roar, like you said, you recovered a couple days ago, but if you're scared of racing, I would say you're not fully recovered.
Right.
You're just able to, like, probably a couple days you realize, okay, I could do the race. So, and then, doing all the things that you can do to make sure that the race does as little damage as possible. So, goes without saying, hydration, warming up, mobilizing the area above and below, all these things that we talk about all the time in our programs. All of that comes into play because you want to give yourself the best chance possible of escaping this race, giving it your best shot, and then and living to see another day. Yeah.
I was listening to something, it was some podcast, I can't remember who the guest was, but they were talking about like drinking alcohol.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of relating this to injury prevention, and it's basically like you are like trading tomorrow's happiness for right now. What is the quote?
I'm drinking alcohol when you can have this.
When you can have green smoothies. A lot of people, Craig. I can't remember it, but something, the idea of it's like basically you are like stealing some of tomorrow's happiness for right now, like when you go out and drink and have friends, and like the next day you're like, it's gonna suck. And so if you're racing while injured, you are stealing some of tomorrow's health right now for this moment. So just make sure it's a good moment for you.
Which might be fine.
And also know that you are gonna have a fitness hangover the next day that you are gonna have to deal with, right? It's just sort of how it's gonna be.
Fitness hangover, that's a good one.
Fitness hangover.
Let's trademark that one.
I know, right? Do you have a fitness hangover?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Do you have a fitness hangover?
Oh man, you can tell it's Thursday and we have already been through the ringer this week.
I know. Yeah. I feel like I'm like making Craig laugh really easily, so that makes me happy. Let me see here. So we got a few more questions.
St. Louis has great barbecue. The sauce is sweet.
Okay, that's good to know.
Has anyone had IT band problems? all of us have had IT band problems.
Seriously, right?
That's the
seriously.
Everyone. We can get into that next if you'd like.
Yeah. What do you?
IT band to me is the classic because IT band is not the pop.
Yeah.
Right. IT band is you've worn on this thing because you're tight somewhere else, which you'll be the best person to tell them where they're tight. But you know, then once it's irritated, like all soft tissue, you know. If your shoulder's sore, like you don't want to go punching your shoulder again, like over and over again. So you want to work the area around it, but I mean, you can't expect that something that has been bred into you over time, meaning like these injuries come up over time. You're not going to hit it really hard with the solution and it's going to disappear tomorrow. But you can help alleviate your symptoms.
So I was listening to this really interesting thing last week. I'm always flipping through podcasts.
A lot of podcasts.
And a lot of podcasts. I drive, back and forth from Marin and to here, drop my wife off, I had to do that. And they were talking about like kind of pain management and neurologically how our body processes, pain receptors from different areas of the body. And what's interesting is that our body can only handle so many pain messages at any given one time. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is when we have a pain message that flows continuously to us for a while, it starts to shut off and kind of go away and become muted. So it becomes interesting, and this applies to IT band issues, and it also applies to, there was an earlier question about running on a sore Achilles, is that you initially notice the soreness, but then when you keep running and we hear the pain goes away, it's not that the problem was fixed, it's just like neurologically, like the pain message, just like the volume went down. But the damage is still occurring.
Oh, that way. So right. And will it flare up again if you continue to damage? Right. Okay.
And it will continue to go. And the other danger with this, and I dealt with this a little bit this fall because I had a little cranky foot when I was really ramping up my miles for the 33-mile race we did.
Yep.
Over Hill and Dale in San Francisco.
It's supposed to be 31, but okay.
It was. I know. That's why I'm saying 33.
Still mad about that.
Still mad about that. Well, hey, we got more than our money's worth. I had to deal with this Achilles and calf thing, and I totally noticed that little pattern that sometimes would be days would be a little stiff and sore. Yeah, I just said stiff and store. If you're stiff and store out there, you know what I mean. But then it would sort of warm up and go away. But I also knew that it really didn't go away. And truth be told, I'm still dealing with my fitness hangover from that race. Yeah. But that race was important enough for me. I wanted to do it, and I thought I could manage this well enough to do it. But I'm still dealing with some stuff.
Yep. Well, that race, I mean, I definitely had effects from that race. I mean, I have like a lower calf thing. It's still flaring up every so often. And truth be told, like, I could spend more time on it to really fix it. And I've just been spending time elsewhere. So and I'm happy to go back into the gym and do like more CrossFit workouts. It's like been fun. Yeah. So I haven't been like, sad about it.
I think that's another really good point. Having other viable fitness alternatives that are good for your body and also have a social element is so good because working with you guys and ask yourself, like a lot of times like we are afraid to take a break because that's our fun time. And basically this injury is not just robbing us our ability of just the mechanics of running, it's robbing us of our workout for that day, our time with our friends. And that's like way bigger than just the run itself. And if you could do something else with your friends that got you sweating and you felt like you did something in your body and it wasn't running, still like maybe kind of sucks, but doesn't suck as much.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. So we have a couple other comments here. I believe stretching helps with the IT band. Funny thing, IT band is actually a very unstretchable part of your body.
It is.
So it doesn't stretch. It's a very tough piece of tissue. But if by stretching you mean mobilizing, I definitely agree. And if by stretching you mean like, stretching the area or going into positions that do give you end range of motion in that area, which is your hip, quads, hamstrings, then yes, totally agree.
The mobility thing is really important, guys, because it's not just like a lot of us say like our hamstrings are tight, so I just want to like stretch my hamstrings and make them longer. To a certain degree, like we could ask, well, how long does a hamstring need to be? Right. How do I measure that length?
How long does a hamstring need
seriously.
to be?
And a lot of times if you guys bend over and touch your toes, it's not just your hamstring length that affects your ability to do that. It affects your range of motion in your calves, your feet,
Yep.
How tight your hips are in the front, like that could affect that, the range of motion of your hip, as well as like your low back. So there's a lot of complex moving parts when we just do a bent over hip hinge. So that's why mobility is helpful, because it gets us focused less on what specific arbitrary muscle we need to stretch, and more about the range of motion and positions of joints that we all need.
Totally agree.
So rather than hamstring flexibility, we want full hip flexion, which basically is kind of the same thing. Like when I'm like bending over to touch my toes, that's me flexing at the hip. I sort of want that.
I was just talking.
I feel like I'm all serious all of a sudden.
Well,
you know,
didn't like it
we
when
got
I was
into mobility. No.
so
I feel like I'm all serious. No, you're good. I feel like we just got like in a serious mode. We just went from like barbecue sauce to that.
I had this friend who was asking me about, you know, she has kind of a knock-kneed way of walking, and her ankles roll in. She's like, well, what does it take for me to fix it? I want to fix it. And I was like, well, it definitely takes some work, because you have a lifetime of patterned movement in this direction, and you kind of have to undo that. And this morning I was in the gym and I was doing pistols, which are a one-legged squat. So you're holding one leg up and you're balancing, and then you got to go down all the way to your ankles, which I'm not going to do right now. But and then I was on a box, and Mark, who was watching me do it, was like, hey, try a band. And so he basically attached a band to a pole.
Interesting.
And then the band was actually not pulling my knee out, it was pulling it in.
Ah.
And I had to resist the band.
So you were forcing yourself to push out.
I mean, I was sweating, and it was just, it was so difficult, because I was like, every time that I gave up the least amount, because basically what you want to do is put yourself in a position where your joint is not buckling in, and every time I release the tension in my kind of quad, posterior, glute area, if I did for just a second, my knee would buckle in.
Yeah.
And so it really showed me where was I giving up that position.
Cool.
And just the point being, like, you can really nerd out on this position stuff, and you don't have to necessarily go to that extent, but like really paying attention to your form, really paying attention to like the mobilization is a continual process. And we're all kind of like somewhere on the slope of how well do we move, and we're trying to move up it.
And guys, that's a conversation we want to have, is we want to bring to the table, and hopefully that's why you guys are here. There are a bunch of questions I want to get in there as well. You know, there are other programs out there, guys, that have higher mileage than ours. Go for it. Like we're proudly set the mileage in our program the way it is. We give you ability to kind of scale up and down. But we find that this conversation needs to happen before the high mileage conversation needs to happen.
Agreed.
Because if you are stiff and sore and everything, like having this here is just, it's only going to end one way, whether it ends now or later. Guys, I promise we will get back to lighthearted stuff. We are talking about
the hats.
So the hats. Let's talk about that. Let's have fun with the hats.
So the hats are designed by this guy right here. He did a great job with it. I really appreciate this. It looks great. If you want one, we have a limited supply, and we won't always have a limited supply. As soon as we get rid of it, like sell through all these, then we'll probably
this is a little
order
trial
more
just to see.
But we didn't order a ton because we didn't know how they were gonna come out, and now we love them. We will order more, but we don't have a way to sell them through our site per se right now.
We do.
We do?
Yes.
I thought it's through the training club.
It is. Actually, that's what I mean. That's how we do it.
So we're not selling. Maybe I misunderstood.
We don't have to.
You can see how involved I was in this process.
Oh my god.
And so basically, in order to get the hat, we're gonna send it to you, and we're not increasing the price of Training Club the same. So the hat is free. Normally, I think it's gonna be what? How many dollars?
We are gonna be selling it for like
20.
It was like $23.
$20. There you go.
And that includes shipping, domestic and international.
Yep.
And for our current Training Club members, for you guys, we want to give you access to that. And just as like a fun incentive for those of you who are brand new or thinking of joining, if you sign up for a 6-month Training Club membership, you will get the hat included while supplies last. And that's basically between now and Monday. I'm actually kind of worried about running out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll see what happens. So hopefully we won't run out. But I just dropped that link down there just to go in.
We run out? Okay, if we
will cross that bridge.
Okay. We will
not run out. We will be okay.
Okay. That's why you still have the tag on yours?
I know, exactly. That's why I kept the tag on it, because that's actually not my hat. I have my hat inside. I know, right? let me see here. So we have, just scrolling up a little bit,
William Cumley.
Yeah, let's get into William.
Checking in from Italy.
Checking in from Italy on deployment.
Okay.
I'm very excited because I'm going to be going to Italy with my wife in May.
I'll be right here.
You will be working hard, and we will be doing fun things.
Recently got a blister on the bottom of my foot, says William, on a treadmill, and it tore and started to bleed on my last run. Any suggestions to get healed quicker or alternate exercise? Okay, so once the blister is torn, it's not a blister anymore. It's just a wound.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
I used to have blisters. I got to the point where I didn't get blisters anymore because my feet were so calloused that it just doesn't really happen. But my feet are also hideous. That's why you don't see them on this video.
That's the only reason why. We just should we not have the foot cam for the live show? So
usually it's one camera this way, one camera down. Is it zinc? I can't remember. There's a white paste that you can get that helps dry out blisters, which is extremely useful. I'll give you a couple different solutions because I've been through different phases of this. There's the first solution, which is it's a hot spot and there's no liquid in it. At that point in time, you want to make sure that you remove the friction from whatever is causing it. That way you don't increase it, because once it gets to the point where there's liquid there, now that is going to come out. At some point, that skin will die. So I can't believe we're going this deep on.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so the first stage, hot spot, you need to remove the friction. So whether that's through your socks or putting some sort of wrap or tape or whatever it is to remove that friction. Second stage is where there's liquid in. For the liquid in, now you want if it's like a balloon, you can lance it. You should sterilize whatever you lance it with.
Yeah.
Put it in the very side. Don't cut it open. And then, if you can, you'd have to look this up.
I'm very medium on piercing and lancing blisters, and my rule of thumb is only if it's incredibly painful. Right. But I would rather have it go down on its own, because that way I don't open myself up to any type of infection.
Totally. Well, what we used to do in the training room in college was we had this injection. He would lance it if it was big, and then put this injection in it, and it would help dry it out, and it would sterilize it.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you're doing that, but if you
have a team doctor who can do all that stuff.
Outside that, if it's already popped, treat it like you have to put antiseptic on it, wrap it. Second skin. Have you ever used second skin?
Yeah.
Second skin is extremely painful on an open wound.
It stings, yeah.
Really bad, but it does work.
And the other thing we want to think about, William, here is was this a new pair of shoes? Yeah. Are you not running on the treadmill? Were you stuck inside for a long run? You've never run a treadmill before and then you just ran for 2 hours? We want to think about why this potentially happened. Do you get blisters outside? Is this a common pattern for you, or is this something else?
What about your gait or shoe?
Totally. A lot of times if you think about a blister, in essence what's happening is that the foot's hitting the ground, or the shoe's hitting the ground, and the foot's still sliding forward in it in some way, right? So there's just this every step, I've
never gotten a blister on the bottom of my foot. People
I haven't either, yeah. It's like they teach you in Boy Scouts, or maybe used to. Yeah. I don't know what they teach, or if they're a thing anymore.
Nope. Don't know. You want a fun fact? I quit Boy Scouts 4 times.
Oh my god. Dude, I did make it out of Cub Scouts.
I made it Cub Scouts twice.
I was not happy with the level of organization of my troop leader.
So funny.
I was silent protest, and it says, I'm out.
This is where we got from blisters. Right into Boy Scouts and our failed Boy Scout experience.
I know, right? But it's like rubbing 2 sticks together, right? You're going to create friction, you're going to create a little fire, and that's what a lot of that is. So, that is our thoughts there. Do you want to talk about Francesca? You see Francesca Coleman? Right there? Shazam.
Oh, yeah. Francesca says, I was injured when I ran the 5-mile Brooklyn Rock and Roll. Bad idea. Even with the ankle wrapped, I was in agony for days. After looking back, if you're hurt and it's cold, sit it out. Decent advice there for sure. I mean, Edwards is a great story. I might have to start using my band like that. What's the story that he's referring to?
What's that?
For the, totally. Yeah. Very little tension is what you need. Not a lot of, if you're going buckling in, very little tension on that pistol. Barbie Laney says, I'm 3 years from a total hip replacement and 1 year plus from the revision to the replacement rear end auto accident.
Oh wow.
Okay to run. Yeah. Last October. I'm trying to build up endurance. Frustration. Okay, so totally hear you. Okay, so
lengthen my psoas.
Barbie had surgery that actually modified some stuff in her and around her hip.
Yeah.
First of all, like, you're gonna have to get to know your new body.
Yeah.
Don't pretend that you have your old body, because you don't. Very specifically,
yeah.
You have a different body now. You have to get to know it, and it's gonna evolve and change just like all of our bodies do.
It's like, you know, coming out of a surgery like that, you're gonna be like learning how to crawl, learning how to walk, how to squat.
Yep.
Again, things like that before running.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think is important is stay in the pain-free zone. Don't use pain as your guiding force there. I mean, things are gonna be painful, but there's good pain and bad pain, and you don't want to re-injure that area because you're trying to do things that your old body was used to. The great thing is that bodies are extremely resilient. It's unbelievable what humans are able to come back from. So slow and steady. I know it's kind of a tired advice, but
you know, the other thing too that's going to be really important for you, Barbie, is to think about rebuilding your athletic base before you start running. And you know, starting with like 3 days of strength, you know, working on some body weight squats and some lunges. You can start to add some weights in there, some kettlebell swings and other things are great where both feet are on the ground, very safe movements. You start to build that range of motion in the hip and your strength and stability around it. And then what you could start to do is add very short bouts of running in there. Actually filmed this really great video with one of our local coaches that I coach with at San Francisco CrossFit, a guy named Max.
Okay.
And Max is an adaptive athlete. When he was young, he's 37 right now, but when he was like 10, he actually got hit by a truck and his whole right leg is crushed. So he basically has, like, his leg is there, but it's underdeveloped. He has to wear different shoe sizes. And not just a knee brace, but basically a hip all the way down to ankle is this like metal brace that he's built himself, by the way.
You're kidding me. Wow.
It's incredible. And he first came into the gym because he was just trying to move, and a lot of us would go for a run as a warm-up, and he would get on the rower and do that and then start to squat. And one day he's like, well, fuck it, I want to start to run. And so he would just start with, you know, running 10 meters and running 50 meters and 100 meters. And now he's actually raced like Spartan races.
What?
Yeah, and other things. It's incredible. So he's done this, and he coached a lot of people too. So the reason why I bring that up was that we were talking about how, you know, the adaptive athlete situation is this extreme injury that's permanent they have to work around. But other athletes will deal with moments of that, where they've gone through some extreme injury, but they have to build themselves back up the same way. And unfortunately, in that,
adaptive athlete,
it's pretty cool.
Wow.
So that video's going to come out. We're really excited about it.
I was wondering, I haven't seen it. Okay, it's not.
No, we just filmed it on Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Hasn't even been uploaded. I really hope it's still on the hard drive.
Snake preview.
I know, right? Anyway, think about it that way, and we can start to build up that strength, add little bits of running in, and build you back up from there. That's
Carrie Hale is back. Welcome back, Carrie.
What's up, Carrie?
I remember because I mispronounced it as Harry Kale last time.
Harry Kale.
Got the 6-month training program for Christmas, and I'm planning on joining soon. Excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by getting it for Christmas if you haven't joined.
I think she maybe got like a gift card. Like I will get you the training when you're ready.
Awesome. Maybe we should do that today because the hat is so cool. Absolutely.
I think so.
Do it. Guys, if you don't know much about our training club, one, that makes me sad because it means I'm not doing my job. Two, there'll be a video on our outro, our sexy outro, that'll show you a little bit more. And of course, I think you put a link in there about how to get to it. So there you go.
Oh, let's do a quick little Gleam break.
Oh, Gleam break. Guys, click the link below to sign up for our giveaway of the You Can Nutrition. That we will do the drawing next week because we're getting this pattern so you guys learn. We're gonna do a drawing at the end of every show from the show from last week. And actually now there are 2 Gleam links. You can sign up for both of them next week, this week, all the weeks. Just do all the things.
Just do all the things. Click in there and we'll do it. And
it's basically giving you free stuff. You may as well do it.
I know, right? And from last week, we are going to be giving away those Tabio socks in 20 minutes, 21 minutes, something like that.
I had a crazy idea.
Crazy idea?
Remember that presentation I gave you this morning?
Yes.
What if I did a little bit of that and told people about our company? Is that boring? Not the whole thing, obviously, just like the front.
The initial story?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you guys want to hear a presentation from Craig?
Is that okay? So we're going to. We're going to these work trips, and I'm going to be presenting about the running experiences. People want to hear about it, and so I thought I've been working on this. It's not done at all. Oh, and then it's public. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Let's.
Well, I will tell you about it without having to go through. Through the slides.
We will spare you guys.
Spare? What are you talking about? It's amazing.
He's been working on this whole time. I have had my head down on other things.
Spare you. They should be so lucky.
I think Craig's brain just had like a little pop, a little brain pop. He was like, oh my goodness. Here, what do we... Yeah, there we go. Exactly right. Running Geek Girl says, hey, my feet got so beat up during roller derby, I don't even care anymore.
Roller derby is hardcore.
Yeah, it is. And then Edward must know, roller derby, do you ever get the urge to body slam someone during a race when you pass them? That'd be kind of funny in a running race. Maybe at aid stations, like if someone in front of you like immediately slows to a walk, I don't know what the rules are.
Check them out of the way, onto the table, and spread them across the water cups.
Oh my God.
I've run on the treadmill a lot. This is
back to William's conversation with the treadmills. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about races and injuries. What are your experiences? Have you dealt with it? Has it been good or bad? Have things worked for you? Do you have any questions? Races coming up that you
general training
about?
Questions are cool too, but we're trying to focus on that.
Totally. Focus.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that. I've run on the treadmill a lot, but have been running outside more lately and decided to do my long run on the treadmill due to the small size of the base. Shoes aren't new, but still have life in them. This is William, who is in Italy, taking a break from deployment. I gotcha. So you're training.
Of the base. Gotcha.
You did your long run on treadmill when you usually haven't done that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that might, connect the dots a little bit more.
Also, it might mean that your gait and stride on your treadmill is different than when you are running on the road, which is always going to be a little true.
Yeah.
But something to pay attention to. One of the nice things about a treadmill is very easy to set up your phone and take a video of yourself.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then you can get a good sense there of how you're running and everything. So we got a good question here from LT Bucks 33.
Love it.
Would that be Lieutenant Bucks?
Man, it's great. I love that we're getting some military in here. It's amazing.
I hope we're doing this correctly.
Yeah. Maybe his name's just like Larry Taylor.
What if you will you eventually be Colonel Bucks? Major Bucks? Captain?
What's I like how you know the name. I don't know that order. I am a civvy. Good
timing on this topic. I just got the dreaded runner's knee a few days ago. What do you guys recommend for best recovery? So runner's knee is this catch-all term that basically just says your knee hurts. Mm-hmm. And it could hurt in a few different places, and it could
you've been running.
And you've been
not
running.
even sometimes.
Or not. Yeah. A physical therapist that I work with, Kelly, was always like, you can get tennis elbow, not even play tennis. That's bullshit, because it's just talking about pain around your elbow. It's this catch-all term that we use, but sometimes it's not very descriptive. If we're talking about classic presentations of runner's knee, which is pain around the patella, which is your kneecap, usually what's happening is that kneecap is not tracking evenly in the groove.
Yep.
And when it's not tracking evenly in the groove, we need to think about all the strings that are attached to that kneecap, which in this case are muscle fibers. And we can start to see that we've got some tight aspects of your quad that are pulling your kneecap over to one side or the other.
Yep.
And that can cause a lot of the irritation and pain. So,
smash your quads.
Smash your quads is a huge part. So a big part is not just rolling right down the middle of the quad.
God, I wish somebody had put a video together on how to do this.
Someone had done has done like 30 videos on how to smash your quads.
Maybe they could put it together in a program called the Injury Prevention Series.
I know,
It's such a great idea.
We do have some great programs that you could follow, and then of course on our YouTube channel, just search knee pain and you'll get a ton of stuff to go through. But we don't want to just focus on this one part of the quad. We want to go like this outer edge with this vastus lateralis, this lateral beefy part of the quad. A lot of times when you guys feel a tight IT band, it's actually the hamstring or this lateralis that is adhered to the IT band itself. So it's not usually the IT band itself, which Craig was saying. Yep. It's this stuff. So we need to loosen this. And then that inner part of the quad, that VMO, the vastus medialis working in there. So when I hit my quad, I'm like rolling three to four different little areas, and I'm spending like 10 minutes per leg. So you need to get on that like each and every day. We've got videos on how to do it. We got programs that walk you through it progressively, and then you also got to be backing that up with some couch stretching.
Yep.
The other things that I would hit would be some movements that really get your posterior chain firing. Because a lot of times when the knee gets tight, it's because we're pulled forward into an anterior position where all of a sudden our hamstrings and glutes aren't firing very well and we have a lot of pressure on our knees.
Yep.
So learning to hinge at our hip, load our hips more with better hamstring and glute stuff is super good. Deadlifts, squatting, single leg stability stuff can be super helpful here too.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do with that stuff.
Carrie,
oh, this is hilarious. So he says Bucks for Buckeyes. That's like
LT's initials. I told you, it's Larry Taylor.
Oh, I love it. LT's my initials. There we go. Hey, well, we'll call you your Lieutenant Bucks in our eyes. How about that?
Yeah. How about them hats?
How about them hats? I know, right?
Carrie, it warms my heart that your husband gave you the training club membership for Christmas. That's amazing. I love that. That's great. I feel like we're doing something right.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Josh chimes in here. I do squats and leg swings every 5K to strengthen and loosen up my legs. Adds tons of energy to your run. Couldn't have said it better, Josh. We love that. Josh, what are you training for? Let us know if you're just running around or you got any events coming up. We'd love to hear.
Are you on the place where you get all the Facebook stuff?
I can scroll to the Facebook. We can see what's going on over here.
You know that we're streaming on multiple.
We are streaming on multiple things.
Okay.
Where do you see all the comments like brought together? The dashboard.
The chat.
The chat. There we go. Hey, let's go over and spend a little time on Facebook, guys. So David says, you guys rock. Thanks for the app on the iPhone. It's really been a great resource. We're so excited to hear that. Fun fact, how many downloads do we have on our app as of this moment?
About 140,000.
140,000 of you guys have downloaded our training app and are using it,
yep.
Which we're super excited about.
If you need to find it, it is in the Gleam link below this video.
Yep.
Hit that and there'll be a link to the
if you don't know we have an app, we do. It's pretty great. And we have like a content team now that is like pumping out blog articles all the time.
Yep.
So we have like a lot of our videos that you can find in there, as well as like, you know, written posts. So we're really proud of that. So go check that out.
And then we also, if you are a training club member, you can also get all the training club stuff in the app, as they say. There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Claire from Facebook says, hey, any advice for race tomorrow, Saturday? So she must be in the UK, or no, where is that? She's in the future. She's in the future time zone world.
Where would it be? It's Friday. Is it Friday somewhere?
Australia? Maybe Australia. I think it is. I think it's like Friday morning in Australia right now.
Is it really?
I think so. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Where's the Greenwich
She says,
line?
Any advice for a race tomorrow after about 6 weeks off due to tendonitis, not sure where. Been practicing on the treadmill, but not done a lot of outdoor running recently. So Claire, it probably depends on how long the race is.
Right.
If you've been going off, you know, the ability to just run it from start to finish might be the victory.
Yep.
You know, like just see if you can run it and it doesn't hurt. I would say give yourself a lot of extra warm-up. You know, like we always love to do a dynamic warm-up, like adding some squats and lunges and leg swings in there just to get everything, your hips really loosened up and open, and get all those muscles firing, and just make sure your run technique's on point. You know, if this is like a marathon, think about the ability to, if things go south, back to our earlier conversation, if you were part of that, is this worth potential risk of not being able to run for a long time after? Or can I give myself a bailout strategy and pull the parachute? Something like that.
Yep.
So go ahead and hit those things. Let's see here.
Damn, Jesse, squats, single leg deadlifts, and deadlifts. Training for 21. What are you doing in St. Louis? St. Louis is like a little conference. Basically, we're meeting a whole bunch of people who are in the fitness industry, who we're not even sure what exactly we're gonna do with those people, or if we'll do anything. But it's always good to meet other people who are in the fitness industry and see if there's anything we can do together. I mean, Nate and I started this just the two of us, and now we have a team that's growing. Edward is part of it. And we want to spread this training as far and wide as possible.
We really do. That's like kind of our mission. We want to partner with more races, and we want to get this stuff out there to more of you guys so that more of you guys can enjoy running. And when something goes wrong, you kind of know what to do or have that like first line of defense. Yep. You know, we're so excited because like this has gone way beyond us. Could you imagine if our whole team left all of a sudden and we had to do all the work?
It would not happen.
It wouldn't happen.
Like
I would roll up into a ball and cry.
Yeah.
It would be impossible. So like this thing has already grown beyond us, which is...
It's a little scary that way.
It's a little humbling. It's a little scary. But we also know that to keep moving, we need to keep thinking that way. Onwards.
Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, as they say. Guys, about 10 minutes till we do that giveaway, so check out that
hours
green
just
link.
flown by.
This time is flying by. Josh just downloaded the app. He said, hey, I'm training for 21K in Tel Aviv. Super cool. Are you, Josh, are you over there, that neck of the woods? Are you flying over there specifically for that race? That's kind of cool.
Wow.
February 23rd, nice. You got a couple more weeks of training. Hopefully that's going well.
I have a question. We used to do this on our webinars 10 minutes ago. And I'm just sitting here and I am rolling my foot out on a mobility tool, and we're both standing, so I have decent posture. We have decent posture right now. What are you doing right now? Are you probably not in a car, hopefully? Are you sitting down? Are you standing up? But whatever you're doing, are you in a good position or not?
That's good. I like that.
And we used to do this on our webinars, where we would say, okay, for the next 10 minutes, can you sit in a good position? Because if you're not sitting in a good position, then you're probably not in good positions other times during the day, and that probably means you're probably not in the greatest of positions during your run either. And that whether it's your hips are shifting forward like I used to do, or like you're kind of slumped over, whatever it is, you know, make your practice your daily life. And I'll challenge you for the next 10 minutes until we do the drawing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really good. And to think about, what a good position is, guys, we'll keep it really simple and intuitive. If you're standing up straight, your head's not slumped over, you've got a little tension in that butt just to keep those hips level. And then also if you're sitting, you're just sitting up nice and tall. You know what I mean? You're not kind of slumped over in the chair or anything crazy. That's what we're going for.
Nice. Ian says you watched Kirk's latest video. Which video was it that you watched? I don't know what we just posted.
That was yesterday's video, which was a Tabata workout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Kirk did in the gym. Very glad you guys liked that.
How'd you like the Mo Farah breakdown that you did?
Oh yeah, what'd you guys think about that?
Well.
Yeah, that's been kind of cruising along. That was kind of a fun thing to do, and we get requests to do breakdowns every once in a while.
Yep.
On Run Form, but it was really fun to do something where he's been posting on his channel. If you guys like check out Mo Farah's videos, like they're pretty great. Like they're short, they're 3 minutes, they're like well produced, and he kind of shares like 1 or 2 tidbits, like very much to the point. And he did this whole squat, like strength training workout. We could actually see him doing all the movements, so I thought it would be fun to.
And he moved pretty well.
He moved pretty well, yeah. So he's definitely been getting good help. No surprises. He's an incredible world-class athlete. But there are also some 1 or 2 areas where I noticed that even maybe Mo is a little stiff.
Yep.
Which is very, very common among high mileage competitive runners because they live in such a limited range of motion world. They're actually not giving themselves. Yeah. I mean, like you weren't like doing pull-ups and snatching in college when you were a runner.
I did a unnatural amount of pull-ups growing up.
Did you really?
My dad told me that he put a little bar with pieces of string in my basement.
Huh.
And he said that if I did pull-ups, I would grow tall.
It's kind of true.
And I believed him. And now look how tall I am. So let this be a lesson to all of you out there. They also told me things like, eat the crusted bread, it's the healthiest part. Which
segue into Craig's patented pull-up course.
Yeah. You too can grow tall.
Like me. That is funny.
I used to do pull-ups every single night before I went to bed. Like,
how many?
I think I used to build up, and I think I got to sets of like 10.
So that's pretty good, especially when you're doing strict pull-ups. That's legit.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I went back home, It's dangerous to get on the bar now because it's been there for like 20 years.
Oh man!
But the bar is basically 2 eyelet screws into the ceiling, and then it's on a string, so it moves around. Yeah, it moves out. There's you can't do this. Yeah. It's good. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad, Scooby Runner, that you like the Mofera workout. I saw some other stuff down here. It's interesting. I want to get to before I'm losing this. This chat window is not scrollable.
Let's just let me see here. Anita says, I just began running.
Is it okay to run with ankle weights and a weighted vest?
Oh, yeah.
Weighted vest, yes. Ankle weights, I'm against.
Yeah, that much weight, like so distal on your body down there, like I think that's just gonna funkify things a little bit. I mean,
form.
It might be curious to play with in a
limited environment. Yeah.
You know, 30 to 50 drill, and also scratch that. Like what's the context here? Like, Craig and I definitely skew more towards the distance side of running.
Right, true.
Like, we don't do a lot of sprint work working with top sprinters. So if this is something that's like a sprinting drill, I'd be curious about that from basically you know, fat burning, burn more energy while you're running. I think running is hard enough that, you know, running faster, running up a hill, there are plenty of ways to elevate your heart rate without doing that. Weight vest is interesting.
Yeah.
Because that can prepare people in the military for rucking, right? They have to carry heavy packs.
Totally.
And, you know, but again, over short distances, I wouldn't do anything too crazy there.
Look, I got a couple questions about my smoothie.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be honest, it does not taste the best today.
No.
It just doesn't. I ran out of frozen banana.
Didn't really put your heart in it.
I was talking to you when I made it, and it was, so I have 2 different types of kale I got at the farmer's market. I cut those up, put them in the freezer for the rest of the week. I have that. I have a bunch of different like superfood-ish type of things like chia seeds, and maybe there's some flax in there, and then
everything that gets stuck in your teeth.
Like dried coconut flakes that added a little bit of sweetness that didn't have anything else. I put some, what is the glucosamine powder?
Did you really?
Yeah, I have some because so many people sent it. So
people
send us stuff, and so I just end up dumping stuff in there. I think there's some.
It's a little witch's brew of.
Yeah, what I'm looking forward to is I have hemp hearts coming in the mail today.
Ooh, nothing gets me out of bed in the morning like hemp hearts.
You know,
so excited.
Hemp hearts
Can you pass the hemp hearts? I think my steak needs more hemp hearts.
Pay no attention to the man over here. I'm telling you about the smoothie. Hemp hearts are good because in a smoothie they have a little like fat in them, and they make it the smoothie smooth. One of the problems I have with like a kale smoothie with water added to it is that it starts to separate. And as you can tell, I made this about an hour and a half ago and haven't had a chance to drink it all. So hemp hearts kind of keep it that smoothie consistency, which I really like. What else I got in there?
Nature's ice cream. What? Not really. I don't know. I was just like, ice cream is smooth. I had a smoothie. It was a jump. It didn't work. It doesn't always work. You got to try things, and sometimes it doesn't. Alexi says hello. Hello, Alexi. How you doing?
Scooby Runner. Scooby Runner is one of our sponsored athletes. I used to run with ankle weights, but just felt kind of funky. It's better to have weight on top and the bottom. Agreed. Yes, and then there's a question of like, what is your purpose in the weight vest in the first place? Are you going so fast on your normal runs that you feel that need to slow down? Is that what's happening?
I love that.
Maybe. What are each of your half PRs? Are you talking to us?
I think LT Bucks is asking us.
Oh.
I know. So, okay, so some of my numbers were more from the triathlon world.
Okay.
But when I was doing that, I was able to run like a 124 off the bike.
Okay.
I could do that. And then I think in training, I ran like a 121. I don't know if I've ever cracked 120, but I never was trying to because I was a triathlete. And it's like I wouldn't do standalone half marathons that much. It was always in the context of training.
I think I did 117 and 116.
Damn, son.
Rock and roll, the rock and roll Seattle half, I remember being...
He didn't even cut a corner. Ran the whole course.
Yeah.
He's so tall because of all his pull-ups that it took him like 10 steps to cover the course.
What is a 6 flat pace? I remember trying to hold 6 flat.
6 minute K, I think that's pretty close to 118.
Yeah. I think that was
that's
a race
smoking.
then. Yeah.
That is smoking. Let's see here. Edward says, you need to put something with soluble fiber in it to keep the greens and the water from separating.
Edward
for the win. Ed for the win with all
I am so glad you're on our team.
I know, I'm really glad. He just like drops these things every once in a while.
Where does this come from? I don't understand.
I know, I love it. I totally love it. Well, hey, it is 12:58.
Which means it's your last chance to sign up for not only this week's, which we're drawing today, the Tabio socks, but next week's, which we will draw next week, obviously.
That is right.
And if you're watching this and you're not live, just click the link for the first link because the other one's going to be ended.
Yep, we got 99 seconds left on this one.
I got 99 problems.
I got 99 problems.
But
wait, hold on. Hemp hearts. Hemp hearts ain't one. 99 problems, but hemp hearts ain't one because I got hemp hearts to keep the suspension of the fluids.
Look, Lizzie Runs Far says hemp hearts equal a complete protein and a good omega-6 fat.
Oh, that's good.
I'm glad that you said that because I was going to say omega-3, but...
I know, we need a good, kind of a chunky smoothie.
Scooby Runner says his PR is 1:18:11, first half of the Houston Marathon, which is in January, a fast course.
That's pretty good, huh?
Definitely. Kind of a chunky smoothie. Well, it's just been dried on the side because I've just been holding on to it the last 2 hours.
I know.
Look, green smoothies never, they were never the pretty girl at the it was just never, that was never on the card.
It wasn't their role.
Yeah.
Like they weren't that way. They were the...
Sometimes the nerd in the library eventually comes out to be the best.
I feel like that's our dog. We always joke like Nora was like the shy girl with like glasses and braces on who like sat in the back at the school dance.
If you want good tasting smoothies that are reliable, where like the tests, like she tests them out and they have all the protein part. Our training training club has a nutrition portion of which we have nutrition challenges, and one of them has been completely around breakfast foods, etc., etc. I make lots of smoothie recipes. All part of the training club, of which the video is coming in just a minute.
Yeah.
You'll see it. We're gonna do this drawing right now. You wanna do it?
The drawing is over.
Oh,
thus concludes said drawing.
Okay.
And how many winners are we doing on this one?
Which one? For the Tabio socks? Well, we only have one pair of the Tabio socks, that's why.
One pair. So one winner for the Tabio socks. They may be here. They may have entered
Tabio
at another time.
And a hat. And a hat.
And a hat. That's right.
Yep.
Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun.
Michael Palmer, come on down.
Michael Palmer, come on up from the back.
From Geneva, Illinois.
All right.
Michael, we have your email, but what we'd be delighted is if just email who?
Email myself,
Nate at therunexperience.com with your full mailing address, and we will get that shipped off to you as soon as possible.
And I'll make sure to email you. I'm going to drop an email you right now that you are the winner.
And the beautiful part about this is that all of you guys who didn't win, you still have a chance because the hat and UCAN nutrition
is happening.
It's going to be drawing next week.
Next week on Thursday.
And you have still a link. You can still sign up. So if you're watching this, go sign up. And guys, as always, thank you for joining us. It is Thursday. It's 1 o'clock, which means our live show is coming to an end. We're going to do our outro here, which I'm very proud of, so stick around. And we are always like kind of doing this because we come up with these questions that people have over the course of the week and we want to address them. If you guys have things you want us to cover, whether it's we put it into a video, we cover it here on live show. Hope you guys enjoy. It was a little bit more serious this time.
It was.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
Because you didn't let me interject as much as I normally do. That's why. Just saying.
Well,
I bring the fun and the funk.
Do you, Craig?
No.
Yes. He brings the fun. He brings the fun and the funk. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will see you guys next week, and thank you for joining us for our live show. We'll
always.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh! Wait, hold on. Here we go. Don't. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, we gotta do the outro.
Outro.
Here we go.